So I wasn't here last week, partly because I was sick and partly because I was actually in a show. For those of you who don't know, I was in a show called Shattering Sky. I played a bulimic woman who loses her child and then gets very bitter and kind of twisted. So the theme this week is the one word of awkward. For me, when I think awkward, I think middle school. In 7th grade biology, I sat next to a boy, and I figured that's the reason he teased me all the time, is that he liked me. But in middle school, and actually a lot of high school, the idea that a guy would like me, or more especially be attracted to me, was like inconceivable. Just absurd. So I didn't get that. I thought he was just being mean. I still remember I had to do a monologue where I played a dead girl and we had to have a costume, and my costume was a sheet thing. He was in that class and in my biology class, and for the rest of the year told me I looked like a tissue. The sad thing is that that actually wasn't a bad comparison to make. In middle school, I had a rolly backpack. And the thing is, like, a lot of people who are socially inept, the reason that they are socially inept is that they don't understand the parameters in which polite society functions. That has never been my problem. I've always, like, gotten those boundaries. It annoys me to have to follow them particularly. So I was totally aware that my rolly backpack was, like, the height of uncoolness. And the reason I had a rolling backpack in the first place was because I had back problems. Still, like, throughout all of middle school, it was kind of this, like, sign of defiance for me, the fact that I had a rolling backpack, and that people looked at me weird, and that I rolled over too many toes to count. But I was still totally aware that it was uncool, and I remember walking to school with my rolling backpack and just chanting to myself. I would just repeat over and over and over again in my head, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind, which I think is an anonymous quote, maybe Dr. Seuss, I don't know. I thought that braces were cool. It's because that was the age where kind of all the cool, popular, confident girls were having their teeth straightened. I've never needed braces. My teeth aren't perfectly straight, but they're straight enough not to be able to justify the expensive orthodontia. I remember wanting braces, like they were necklaces for your teeth, and I think even then, rationally, I knew, you know, that they're painful and they're not supposed to be attractive, but to me I associated that with that cool, popular girl I wasn't. I did not shave my legs until I was 13, which sounds like a reasonable age, like you're officially a teenager, but by the time I was 13, all the other girls started shaving their legs, and it was very apparent in PE class. Because the girls have to wear the short shorts. I don't know why I slipped into British for that. Sexism. Again, that was kind of like this weird act of defiance. I kind of viewed myself in middle school as fighting against the norm. Kind of like in those teenage movies where you're fighting against the popular crowds and the outcasts are like pushing boundaries and stuff. I wasn't, and I think that's a cliche plot line anyways, but that's kind of how I viewed myself.